Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Step. Man's Final Step. A continuing series to the 144,000 that is mentioned in the book of Revelations chapter 7 and 14, as with the multitude that will come out of the great tribulation. My name is Symmanayah, and today is December 9th, 2013. If you're tuning in for the first time, you will come to know that my brothers, my sisters, my family consists of all nations, kindreds, and tongues who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuwah and accept Yahusha as Mashiach, as our Messiah. For it is through our Messiah that we are made one under the banner of Yasharal, commonly known as Israel. With that stated, let me get into this segment of Man's Final Step. It is entitled Mapping the Scroll. Mapping the Scroll. And if you are tuning in for the first time, I strongly encourage you to listen to the episode right before this one. The one that preceded this one. This is the 11th installment of this series. Let me begin with reading Revelation 6:14. And heaven departed like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. While you ponder on these two verses, allow me to add some more. Revelation 6:7 reads as follows. And when he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, Come and see. And I looked, and I saw a pale horse, and he who sat on it had the name of Death, and the grave followed with him. And authority was given to him over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, and with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Let me continue with Revelation. That was Revelation 6, 7 and 8. Verses 7 and 8. Chapter 6. Let me continue on with Revelation chapter 9, verses 19 through 15. And the sixth messenger sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Elohim, saying to the sixth messenger, who had the trumpet, Release the four messengers, those having been bound at the great river Euphrates. And the four messengers, those having been prepared for the hour and day and month and year, were released to kill a third of mankind. My brothers and sisters, you have witnessed me speak on famine, which is food shortage, drought, freshwater shortage, pestilence, and disease, while also hearing me state that out of these will come chaos, turmoil, and much more that will erupt in these last days. They will cause forced transition or forced movement. You have heard me mention this all too often. I submit to you another thing to examine, and that is the death of billions, yes, billions of people dying. Consider what I've just read in Revelations and hear this. There are approximately 7.2 billion people on the planet. If 1/4 of the people in this number, as mentioned in Revelation 6:8, are killed, that will leave approximately 5.4 billion people left. Now, if we move to Revelation 9:15, and we now witness 1/3 being killed, the remaining number will roughly close or come to approximately 3.6 billion people killed all in all, or more. If you consider the number we started with, 7 billion, we now roughly have half the population on the planet destroyed. Yes, 3.6 billion people killed, destroyed in some way, shape, or form. When one does the math, when we do the math, it becomes evident that the space these individuals reside in will be void of people, for they would have been killed or destroyed. It could be due to a nuclear bomb, radiation fallout from nuclear plants, excessive pollution, food accessibility, water shortage, and many other factors that align with scriptures. Who has given thought to the details? Who has considered that man would be forced to move if their habitations are disrupted, are no longer livable? Do we honestly believe because we may ignore details that this will prevent scriptures from being fulfilled? I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, in massive death, we will witness areas becoming uninhabitable, or put another way, void of physical life. I believe as we witness these phenomenal events, we will discover habitable lands will be within the region where it all began during the days of Adam and Eve, or Adam and Hawa. We will discover habitable lands will be within the region where it all began. Yes, my brothers and sisters, pray earnestly and seek to understand. It will be the region in which we find the safe place appointed by Almighty Father Yahuwah for these last days, these end times, a safe place that will put us in an area where we will not face the wrath of Elohim, at least those who are obedient. If you have doubts, pray earnestly and keep in mind these words. It is believed that the Garden of Eden is within the region people have come to believe as the area known as the cradle of civilization. We know the so-called Middle East is part of Africa. At least many people believe. Now consider this, Revelation 16:16. And they gathered them together to a place called in Hebrew Har Megiddo. This references one of the last meetings of the armies that will come to fight against those who are of the family of Yasharal. They came together in Megiddo. That is in the region, my brothers and sisters. Let me read Revelation 19:19. For it reads, And I saw the beasts and the sovereigns of the earth and their armies gathered together to fight him who sat on the horse in his army. Yes, this gathering, just as man sprouted out from the Garden of Eden, was kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and as we spread across the globe, we have read the scriptures that talk about the 144,000 representing the 12 tribes of Yasharal, commonly known as Israel. And we've read scripture that talks about a multitude that will come out of the great tribulation. Know this, my brothers and sisters. So will it be. Man will be gathered back to that point. And a time will come when the enemy and its armies will march against those who are of the sovereignty of Yahushua. Jeremiah 46:10 reads, For this is the day of the master of Yahuwah of hosts, a day of vengeance, to revenge himself on his adversaries. And the sword shall devour, and be satisfied and made drunk with their blood. For the master Yahuwah of hosts has a slaughtering in the land of the north by the river Euphrates. Pray earnestly, my brothers and sisters. While I can present much text in or words, it will be the Spirit of Yahushua that will make clear what is true, whether my words are true or not. He will make it true. He will prove all. Try searching habitable lands and then begin to look at the trends and condition of these areas regarding fresh air, fresh water, food, pestilence, and disease. Watch, my brothers and sisters, over time, environmental conditions, whether natural or man-made, whether it's catastrophes or nuclear bombs, will result in habitable lands shrinking. It will result in man navigating to where they could continue to function and live. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. We will come to see that region to be the region where it all began. What does your heart or spirit tell you regarding the region where 144,000 in multitude will be coming out of the great tribulation? What will be that great day? Where do you think this location will occur? Mapping the scroll is indeed possible to a degree. Come away from the teachings of the masses who present comfort, delusional beliefs. Move towards living discernment and come to understand what will be done. I will rest on this matter for now, but continue to be encouraged. There will be the rise of the 144,000 in multitude, and we will witness a phenomenal gathering of the obedient. Remember, the plan belongs to the Almighty Father, and it is His set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name that will provide all guidance necessary. Until next time, my brothers, my sisters, my family, stay tuned for more as I continue, as I'm persuaded to respond. Shalom, shalom, shalom.